Hey, what's up, guys? Kevin Estela here. I'm out in Utah messing around with one of my favorite toys. Correction, I don't want to call it a toy. I'm going to call it a tool, and that's a slingshot. Guys, I've been using slingshots for a very, very long time. Ever since I was a little kid, my dad showed me how to use a slingshot. And over the years, I kind of screwed up a little bit, but I've made it work. See, the reason I say I screwed up is because when I was a little kid, I watched Rambo, and in particular First Blood Part 2, and I saw the way that Rambo held his bow in his right hand and he drew with his left hand. Well, I'm a righty. I shoot pistol righty, I shoot rifle righty, precision rifle, shotgun, everything righty. I write right-handed. I shoot a slingshot lefty. And listen, I'm not really big into the archery scene, but I do play with the slingshot a lot. I do train with it a lot. And I'll tell you that I just make it work because for me, the slingshot isn't a weapon, it's a game gathering tool. So I don't mind closing my dominant eye and using my left eye instead. What I want to do is I kind of want to walk you through some of the fundamentals of using a slingshot and explain how you can create more consistency in your shooting of a slingshot to then transfer over into better accuracy. So first I'm going to talk about the slingshot. And I'll say that this is my favorite slingshot. This is from Simple Shot Slingshots. It's called the Axiom Ocularis. The reason I like this slingshot, lightweight, durable. There's nothing here that could really go wrong. I mean, everything is synthetic except for the pouch. And if I were to break a band, I can easily replace the band in the field because these little plugs pop right off. And it also will use round or flat bands. And I'll tell you something, it's very nice to be able to do a 30-second slingshot band replacement when you need it. A couple other things about this slingshot. I just like the very minimalist design. I don't need a big forearm brace. I don't need to have lasers on these. Yes, they do have slingshots with lasers. I do like how it has this flared fork, and that flared fork allows me to get a very high grip. Now, as far as shooting a slingshot, here are a couple things that you want to do in order to build consistency and to build better accuracy. Number one, you're going to want to find which eye is dominant. Now, let's just say, for argument's sake, my left eye is dominant. I'm going to demonstrate how you would shoot this as a lefty, but for all of you that are righties, the 9/10 of the population that are righties, you're going to simply reverse the order. And if I say left hand, I'm really saying right hand. With your slingshot, try to get as high up on the fork as you can. The reason for that is if I grab lower on the fork, that's a much larger lever to work against the web of my hand. So I want to grab as high up on the fork as I can. Another thing is when I decide to use ammo, I want to make sure that that ammunition matches the slingshot band weight. I don't want to shoot, say, like 177 BBs out of this band. Instead, I'm using 40 caliber round ball. The reason I do that is because if I have too light of a projectile on too heavy of a band, that band is actually going to come in and slap your hand. Not a good thing. Another thing, you want to center your ammunition in the middle of your pouch, and you want to have a consistent pinch on that pouch every single time. I don't want to grab it really heavy with a heavy hand. I don't want to have it touching my ring finger or my middle finger. I like holding it between my index finger and my thumb every single time. And when I release it, I let the band release itself. I don't try to open my hand quickly. I just let it slip. Another thing about using a slingshot and getting accuracy, if I'm aiming at the camera, I'm sighting down this band. So I'm lining up my eye along with the band, along with what I'm trying to hit. If I aim off to the side and I'm pulling like this, like that, like this, then I'm not going to have accuracy. I want a straight line and be on the same plane when it comes to my eye, the end of the fork, and my target. Another thing, I want a consistent draw point. When I shoot my slingshot, I tend to draw until this knuckle on my thumb touches my lip. I do this every single time. I've been doing it since I was a little kid. I don't want to draw here, and then here, and then here, and then here every other time. I want a consistent drop point And that's exactly how I'm going to do it every single time. Remember, more consistency, more accuracy. You'll notice something. When I hold this slingshot out, I'm not letting the bands, or I should say the fork, cant forward or backwards. And I'm not holding it where I'm pushing the fork in front of my knuckles. What I want to do is I want to have that as level as possible, eliminating this and this, so I just have a straight pull every single time. The last thing I'll say about shooting a slingshot is have follow through. And what follow through looks like is don't just drop your hands after your shot. Notice where your slingshot ends up after you've released the band. If you do that and you are tracking the projectile, because keep in mind, this is not shooting a bullet at 850 feet per second, 1100 feet per second, 1800 feet per second. This thing is not moving that fast, but it is carrying weight and you will be able to see it. So always follow your shot with a good follow through and get a second sight picture, okay? I know I'm using some firearms terminology here, but it translates over. So what I'm gonna do now is I've got a shovel about 7 yards away, and I'm going to take some shots and I'm gonna show you what it looks like. And then what I'll do is I'll turn this way and I'll turn the stage, so to speak, and let you see what it looks like from the other side. So you'll notice, same draw point every single time, and I get a good hit. I make sure that my bands have no twists in them. I place my ammunition in the dead center of the pouch. Same draw point, and I get a hit. One more time. Remove any twists in the bands. This one's really twisted. Come on. There we go. Center of the pouch. Same draw point. And I get my hit. Now on this side, I'll move a little closer so you can get some close-up details. So, slingshot. I just accidentally launched one over my tripod here. I'm going to remove the excess twists in the band like this. All right, now it's nice and symmetrical. That shot is going to go in the center of the pouch. I'm going to pull to the same consistent draw point. And I'm going to slowly loosen the grip on my thumb and index finger. I'm going to do that again. I'm actually closing my right eye. I know it's kind of hard to see with these Oakley glasses on, but I'm closing my right eye and I'm looking with my left, slowly releasing the grip of my fingers. And that's all there is really to it, guys. You might be wondering if you should shoot lead or if you want to shoot steel. They both work really well, but I'm an old school hunter in the fact that I like lead rounds. I don't mind, soft tip lead rounds. There's an old expression, lead is dead, right? Like meaning you shoot something with lead, it's going to be dead. So I like using lead. I buy muzzle loading rounds, and that's what I use. I find that they're relatively inexpensive, and also I don't have to pour my own. Guys, do not breathe in too much lead. Wash your hands with cold water. Don't open your pores with warm water. Wash your hands with cold water if you do shoot a lot of lead, and just keep having fun with it. Experiment with different size round ball. Experiment with clay shot, steel shot. If you don't like carrying a lot of weight, You can carry the bands and make your own slingshot. There are so many options out there, and I will tell you that this takes up very, very little space, and yet it allows you to affect your survivability in the great outdoors. So guys, I'm going to keep on shooting here, and I hope you learned a couple things. Please remember to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And remember, get outside, have some fun, never stop being a student.